All right, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out as always. Some really exciting stuff on the horizon here. It's taken me a little while to get to this video. Super busy with work over the last couple weeks, but I'm sick, so I'm out of commission and I'm catching up on content. But we got some really exciting pieces for Vynnset coming out in Rosetta that I think are going to go a long way to making Vynnset meta viable. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that now's our time to shine. We get some really cool aura pieces that I think are going to improve the consistency of the deck and make for some really cool value turns. So I wanted to share my sort of like initial thoughts and my initial shell for the new pieces. I'm not claiming this is going to be like the be-all end-all correct way to build Vynnset, but it's my initial thinking. I have been testing more of a redline shell, and I think that the new pieces sort of lend themselves really well to the redline playstyle, so I think they slot into this sort of like redline build quite well. So this is my starting point. Again, you know, these, I keep checking Talishar to see whether these cards are up and playable, but they are not yet, so we're not able to test them quite yet, but I'm very excited to see what they do. So here are my initial thoughts, okay? Take it with a grain of salt again. But I have been seeing some really good results on Redline without the new pieces, and I think the new pieces really just kind of push it over the top. So, okay, really quickly, Vynnset. We all know Vynnset. We all love Vynnset. We're on Flail of Agony and Bloodied Oval as our default sort of hand and offhand. We do have Grimoire in the inventory. I don't often target Grimoire as a way to create eloquence, but maybe I should more. It is mostly just a source of arcane barrier for me. Crown of Providence as a default headpiece allows us to kind of like fix our hand a little bit. Spring Tunic on our body to create some resources that might come in handy to activate creepers for shenanigans. So often we're using the Tunic resource to activate creepers for free essentially. And cheat something in, which is great. We have Vexing Quillhand as the only arm piece. This is a redline build, so not much opportunity to pitch into Grasp. So we don't have Grasp. We are squishy. Well, we're squishy, but we have Husk, so we're not that squishy. Okay, main board. Beseech the Demagon. We're familiar with it. 0 for 3, shadow action. So even a 2-card 7 with Bounding Demagon, you play out Beseech, targeting Bounding, comes in for 4 plus 3. Pretty good. Here is our first new piece. So I've targeted 6 new auras, 3 and 3. So 2 new auras, but a playset of each, that I think are no-brainers in Vynnset. There are we've gotten some other ammunition that may or may not prove useful. So for now, we're looking at Deadwood Dirge. So Deadwood Dirge, we're going to pause on because we've never seen this before. Destroy an aura you control. If you do, create 3 rune chant tokens. So the floor on this card, if you hold Deadwood Dirge and Deathly Wail, that is a 2-card 9. That will probably make you rune chants unless your opponent decides to block it out and give you 3 cards. How that works is you're going to banish the Deathly Wail. That makes you a rune chant token from Vynnset's ability. You can then play Deadwood Dirge, targeting that rune chant token, which is an aura, to turn it into 3 rune chant tokens, which is enough to now play out Deathly Wail. So we can play out Deathly Wail on a 2-card hand now, which is amazing. So that's sort of the floor. The ceiling on Deadwood Dirge is targeting something like Bloodrot Pox. So it's going to deal 2 damage to us. We get rid of it, and it turn 2 damage into 3 rune chants. Pretty damn good. So this card is absolutely insane. I think it goes a long way to improving. It's kind of exactly what we've needed. A good way to make more rune chants. Like, we've been playing Read the Runes forever, but Read the Runes is awkward. Unless we have Eloquence or unless we're creepersing it in, it's really hard to take advantage of those rune chants right away. This has Go again, right? So no-brainer inclusion, in my opinion. The rest is sort of like standard, but I'll just go through the redline shell. So Deathly Delight, 3 of. It's a 2 for 5 that gains you life. Deathly Wail, so I've decided, because this is a redline build, the yellows are worth it. So it's not going to dilute the deck too much. The yellows are worth running because it's sort of like a core piece. So Deathly Wail, At yellow here is for 5, but it might make you some rune chance, which is awesome. Eloquent Eulogy, a 1 for 4 that makes eloquence potentially if you or your opponent have taken damage. And we can take advantage of that eloquence by playing out a Funeral Moon at instant speed, restoring our action point and making a rune chant. Maybe we consume that rune chant with Deadwood Dirge and turn it into 3. Pretty good. Or we give Read the Runes Go Again, so make 3 chants, follow it up. So Eloquence is quite good, and so I know some lists and some redline lists are looking at Requiem. Requiem blocks for 3 at a base, so it's not bad. Makes Eloquence. I'm not a huge fan, but I get it. So something to keep in mind. Funeral Moon blocks for 3, makes us a rune chant. Can shenanigan in with Eloquence, but sometimes we just need that extra rune chant. I'm going to be testing Lead the Charge. This is kind of a flex slot for now. I was on my most recent iteration of the Redline list. I was on Tear Through the Portal. Tear Through the Portal sort of does the same thing, and it is a shadow card. So that might be a better choice. Tear Through the Portal I've found helpful, so you have to target a red card in Banish to give it Go Again. It is a shadow action. It blocks for 2. There might be some room for shenanigans in Lead the Charge. It just restores your action point, so essentially it is a more open Tear Through the Portal. Tear Through the Portal can only target red cards in your Banish. This can target anything, or it restores that action point after anything. So I'm going to test it out. We're going to see. We might be back on Tear Through. We'll see. Let's pause on Malefic Incantation. This is another new aura that I want to test, and I think we'll likely see play in Vynnset. It is a 0-cost aura with Go Again, enters with 3 verse counters, very similar to Runeblood Incantation, but this time it costs 0, which is great for Redline. And when it has none, we destroy it. So once per turn, when you play an action card, attack action card, remove a verse counter from it. If you do, create a rune chant token. So this has been the most challenging thing. Being able to come out with a rune gate card after your first attack, because you consume the rune chants, and so it's hard to make. It has historically been hard to make rune chants after your first attack, unless it's Deathly Wail and you're closing the chain and making rune chants. Funeral Moon can make us 1, but now Malefic Incantation just gives us 1 for free on swing. So then we sit on 1 when we resolve that attack. Deadwood Dirge would then turn that 1 into 3, and we can maybe follow it up with another Deathly Wail. So they also interact quite well together, but even just like 1 extra rune chant after an attack could allow us to cheat in an Eloquent Eulogy or do some other shenanigans. So Mauvrian Skies is a no-brainer inclusion. Red, 0, gives Go Again on hit 3 rune chants. Your opponent has to respect that. Read the Runes still in the list. Maybe this goes to the inventory, but it's still great. Set up on turn 0. Great with Eloquence. Can cheat it in with Creepers. So still a lot of versatility there, and we want to make rune chants. Revel, 3 of. As long as we've attacked. If we played a non-attack and an attack, it makes 4 rune chants. This alone could justify playing Annihilation. I do want to test out like really sort of like heavy red line to start with these new pieces, but Annihilation might come in. So Annihilation is not currently in the list, but Widespread Annihilation is such a good card, and Revel and Runeblood alone can let you cheat Widespread Annihilation in. It's just a little more awkward to get it to go, but with our new pieces, maybe not so much. So yeah, it's something I'm keeping in mind. So the blues that I'd be targeting for this list, if I do decide to do a little more of a blue, like include some more blues, Annihilation, and maybe Shadow Averser. There's an argument to be made there too. Shadow Puppetry, no-brainer, 0, gives Go Again, +1 on attack. Look at the top of your deck. You can banish it, so this allows us to get more things in Banish. Most recently, we were playing Pumpkin or Lantern. Makes a rune chant, banishes a card from top of deck, as long as you've revealed a red. It's good. It could have a place in this list, but for now I have not found that place. So Lead the Charge, maybe if we find we don't need as much Go Again, Lead the Charge is like my first iffy pick right now. Swarming Gloomveil, this one I was also kind of like lukewarm on it, testing this redline list, because it's often just a 0 for 3, because we just make our initial rune chant, and it's hard to kind of like string this together. So it's often just a 0 for 3 go again. The go again's always online because we make rune chants. But now with our new pieces, we're making more rune chants. So it's more likely for its other modes to come online for, and you know what? At the end game, the Can't Prevent Arcane is pretty good. Could close out the game. So we're definitely going to be testing Swarming. I think it just got better. So why not? We are on Phantom Banshee right now. I think we need a certain like critical mass of RuneGate cards, but Phantom Banshee plus Dirge is another 2-card 10. So banish Phantom Banshee, target the aura, the rune chant you just created, make 3, come in for 3 and 7. Pretty amazing. So 2-card 10, it's hard to ignore, so it is in the list. Phantom Wraith 2 for 6, and Widespread Ruin 2 for 6 that banishes off top. So something I'm going to be paying more close attention to is like, in order to go wide, we need some cards in, like to bank some cards in banish. So that either requires setup or for us to take advantage of the abilities like Widespread Ruin, hoping to get something off top, or like deliberately banishing your arsenal, or deliberately, yeah, I don't know. So Pumpkin Lantern kind of like fulfilled that for us, to try and get something else, and Ursa could be that for us too. So it's something I'm keeping in mind right now. Do we need more cards that allow us to fill our banish? So that's what I'm going to be keeping in mind into this first round of testing. We're on 3 of Oasis, so hopefully you'd play it out with Tunic and save yourself from Kano. So the idea would be sit on this in Arsenal, hopefully build up a Tunic resource, and then you have that safety net. On the subject of Kano, we have Spell Void 2 in Ebonfold and 2 Prevention with Dance. So pretty good, sort of the bare minimum package for Kano for Redline. And we have Grimoire as an Arcane Barrier, which I'd also side in for Runeblades, because if we have to crack Vexing, then we go Shields down against their Arcane, which is scary. So Grim is there. Beyond that, like Arcane sort of package, we have Ravenous Rabble, which is great in Redline, allows us to extend our chains even further, 0 for 4 often, especially now we only have 3 yellows in the main board, and we have 3 yellows and 1 blue that we could side in. We're still on 6 D-Reacts, Sigil of Suffering, and Sink Below. Very well, this Sigil could be reduce a rune chant to make another rune chant if you're confident that you're going to be sitting on rune chants, or if you're comfortable using Tunic resource to pay for it if you don't have rune chants. But you know, this piece is going to allow us to float rune chants better, even if we don't have much going on a turn. So you know what, yeah, I don't know, Sigil or reduce, either way, but I think 6D Reacts has felt good for a while in Vynnset. Widespread Destruction for some extra interaction with your opponent, target arsenal, and Oblivion. So now that we have more opportunity to create rune chants, Oblivion is quite good, and so it's the only blue in the list, and it would come in for like grindy matchups where we want to try and just like build up rune chants and sort of build up a big turn. So Oblivion's in the list right now. Don't know exactly when we're going to be siding it in, but it is there. Carrion Husk is in the list as well for big smashy matchups as well, like Azalea and KO. So if we think it's not going to go very long, if your opponent's not really keen on blocking, then Carrion Husk might be able to give you that edge and push momentum back in your favor. So that's my current shell. Again, not claiming that I've got it figured out. This is just what I'm going to start testing the new pieces on. Again, some question marks, some slots, some flex slots in this. So I hope this turns into a discussion. I really want to hear what you guys think about these new pieces, what shell they might fit best in. Do you agree with me that Redline is sort of like our first course of action for testing? Do you have any suggestions for changes? So you can also join the Discord, by the way. Lots of great discussion on the Discord about these new pieces and people sharing their lists and stuff like that. So these are just my initial thoughts. Again, not claiming they're be-all, end-all, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. So thanks so much for watching, as always, everybody, and we'll chat real soon. Cheers.